Heredity or habitat. Your surroundings are your DNA sequences. Which do you believe to have been more influential on who you are as a person? In other words, is it nature or nurture which has shaped the complexity of the individuals before me? The age-old debate of nature versus nurture is one which has left many pondering these distinctly opposing sides. Kendra Cherry is no different. This psychological author portrays nature as all the genes and hereditary factors that influence who we are, from our physical appearance to our personality characteristics, while nurture refers to all the environmental variables that impact who we are, including our early childhood experiences, how we were raised, our social relationships, and our surrounding culture. My experience as a psychology student has taught me that each side has an impact on an individual's development. However, what I have taken away from the lectures is that each side is not equal in extent. Nurture is more influential than nature due to the susceptibility of predisposed traits on an environment, the experiences that shape one's personality, and the reliance societal configuration has on learned behaviors. Now, let us take a closer look at the susceptibility of predisposed traits to an environment. As some of you may know, nurture has the ability to influence how naturistic traits are expressed. This is most prominent in foster relationships where the child may not portray particular traits despite their biological parents possessing them. For instance, Viz.org presents a mice study at the Facility of Life Sciences which demonstrates how maternal environment can affect how genes are expressed, influencing the body weight and growth of young mice even if they are not related to the mother. Essentially, your environment has the ability to extract or even conceal specific traits depending on their cultivation within said environment. This is due to epigenetics. Epigenetics is described by the CDC as the study of how your behaviors and environment can cause changes that affect the way your genes work. Unlike genetic changes, epigenetic changes are reversible and do not change your DNA sequence, but they can change how your body reads your DNA sequence. I find it quite fascinating how one can resemble those they are not inherently related to, solely due to their similar surroundings. However, not only are physical characteristics impacted as such, but as are mental ones. Personality is commonly referred to as a combination of one's experiences or environmental experiences. This is because we as humans tend to not only mimic our surroundings, but also learn from previous encounters. Foster relationships is yet again another great example of this. According to ScienceDaily.com, the University of Exeter revealed that foster parents have a greater influence on the personalities of fostered offspring than genes inherited from their birth parents. Therefore, the foster family's presence in the child's everyday life, how they treated the child and what the child was exposed to, impacted the child more than the genes given to it by its biological parents. This is why your parents more than likely warned away any form of toxicity within your social life, because as they truthfully claim, you are who you hang around. And since surroundings have such an impact on who you are as an individual, imagine the power they have on a society as a whole. Our everyday lives are composed of rules and regulations, from work to school, even at home. We are taught them from a young age and expected to follow these rules to maintain safety and stability wherever they are placed. Humans are not born with the knowledge of do's and don'ts. Rather, we learn them from external factors like our environment or those who occupy it. Thus is a form of nurture. Anthony Biglin claims that we create the conditions that nurture the prosocial behavior that society's well-being requires. If we assume that the outcomes of human development are out of our control, we will allow the problems of human behavior that have plagued us for centuries to continue. Basically, the mentoring of laws is essential in avoiding the less flattering aspects of mankind. Our planet is constructed and balanced upon learned behaviors we cannot achieve without the ability to nurture or be nurtured. Humans simply could not rely on instinctive nature alone if we wished an easy and sophisticated survival. We would just be very primitive. In essence, nurture is more effective than nature based on a multitude of tangible logic. This is seen in the way with which it influences our world as well as our own success, future, and progression. However, nurture is more than just a classifying term for our dispositions. It is the memory of your mother's endearment, the line with which you trailed as a first grader, the physique of your body, and the birthday you'll never forget. So now, as you venture through your own life's journey, I ask this question of you again. Is it nurture which influences the individuality of you all, or is it nature?